all of us together, we could one day have an interstate in the Rio Grande Valley. We have a long program today. We will hear from federal and state invited guests. But before, I want to acknowledge our local officials that are in the audience. I would like to ask all of the local officials at the county level to please stand. Local officials from the county, Judge Garcia. Thank you so much for being here. And we have officials from Pharr, Hidalgo, Willacy, and Cameron. We also have many municipal officials that are elected officials. If those folks could please stand at this time. Municipal mayors, aldermen, officials, thank you so much for being here. We have also a lot of folks from the FPOs, from the RMAs, from the port authorities, from economic development corporations, from Chamber of Commerce, and other local agencies. And I would like to ask them to also please stand. Thank you. We also have some folks that are in the audience that don't usually want to be recognized, but I will. There are the folks that came in from Austin with TxDOT today, not the ones sitting up here, but the ones that make sure that the ones sitting up here are here. So I would like to ask the folks from Austin with TxDOT to please stand. And last but not least, we have a special group of folks here that work with us day in, day out in what we do, and that is the TxDOT local district folks led by Mario Jorge. Mario, would you stand and the rest of your folks also? Thank you so much. Everybody in the room pretty much stood. So everybody's been working on this project and look at where we are today. It gives me great pleasure to introduce a gentleman that I've had the pleasure of working with and knowing, and is a fellow professional in my other profession also, that has done a great job for making sure that today becomes a reality as it has. And that is Judge John Thompson from Polk County, who is the chair of the I-69 Alliance. Judge?
Thank you and good afternoon. It was a great meal. It is absolutely a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm county judge in Polk County. I'm chair of the Alliance, and it's great to be back. I was just down here a few weeks ago getting ready to have this day, and I'm so excited about it. As David just said, every one of you in the audience has played a role in us being here today. And as I look at the faces, I'm reminded, and it's a great slide presentation of the history of I-69 in the Valley, and I-69 up and down the corridor. Since David has already identified each of you, I'd like to ask that another group, those are the members of the Alliance for I-69 Texas, to please stand. If you are now or have been, please stand. I'm not going to go back through the list, but there are two people that were instrumental in this day becoming a reality. And one was my dear friend and a dear friend of a lot of you, and that was Bill Summers. And today we have Bill's wife, Jo, and his son, Randy. Would y'all stand up, please? Here. And secondly was Mike Allen. Mike Allen's family, there's no one here to be here today, but those two guys pushed hard, often, and were very aggressive in making sure that I-69 came to the valley. So we thank you for being here today. The other thing that I would like to draw your attention to, in your packet, there is the chronology of the history of I-69 in the last 20 years, and I hope you'll take that with you and look at it. Also, as you exit today, there is a banner downstairs that we would like for you to sign if you would like to be a part of this history-making event. Now, there's one other person that I just cannot go without mentioning, and were it not for her efforts and amending federal legislation, I-69 would not have come to the valley. So I hope you will join me in saying thank you to our champion in Washington for many years, Senator Kate Bailey Hutchison. The unveiling of the I-69 signs in Texas. Take a moment to look at the pictures that were taken this morning. These are hot off the press. Just for a moment. Now you're going to see additional signs erected up and down the route in the next few weeks, months, and years. But I'm telling you, something is very, very sweet about those first signs. So my congratulations from the Alliance and from all of us to you for the hard work that came from the Valley. The fact, hats off to Mr. Chairman of the Partnership, Valley Partnership. I want to tell you that I do feel smarter today. I spent the night at the Holiday Inn Express last night. So. And to Julian Alvarez and the Partnership. It is amazing what we can do when we all work together. So thank you to the Partnership. Now today is a day for celebration, but let me remind you of something. None of us reap the full benefits of I-69 until it's completed in Texas. Today in this audience, we have folks from Texarkana. I'm from north of Houston. We have folks from south of Houston. We are all here because we know that it's important. Every piece of I-69 that is built is important. It must connect to the rest of the country. It's no good if it just connects to the town next to you. So we stand ready to work with you to link arms to help build the rest of I-69 in Texas. And at that point, we will reap the full benefits. Thank you so much. And again, we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, Judge Thompson. Our next speaker on behalf of the Governor of the State of Texas is Transportation Director Jeff Austin III from Northeast Texas. A good friend to all of us in South Texas, he has been a strong advocate for the continued completion of the interstate into our area. And he's been the Commission's liaison to all of the I-69 issues that we've encountered from the first day he got to his job. And it is a great pleasure for me to say that he's here with us today to celebrate a wonderful occasion, and we'd like to hear from him. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not going to sing. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to be back in the Valley area. I'm sitting here going back through my calendar. I was looking back and reflecting, and I've been to more places other than Dallas, where my daughters live, and Tyler. I've come to the Valley more times than any other place. So I know it's going to be my last, and I would say this shows the importance of this region of the state to all of us. And this could not have happened without each and every one of you. The signs that were unveiled today do not just mark another interstate. They symbolize growth, connectivity, and economic development for a critical region of our great state. For everyone here today, plus the Alliance for I-69 and the I-69 Advisory Committee and the I-69 segment committees, they have proven that grassroots efforts and listening, conversations, and comments do work, and we want to continue implementing this bottoms-up approach. We can celebrate today's accomplishments largely in part of their efforts. Their efforts, I know they will continue, and they're telling us who, what, where, when, and how we need to do this, and we want to move forward with their work. And because their work was so significant, we extended the advisory committee's role for 2 more years because we have a lot of work that's still yet to be accomplished. While these signs are just the first step, we will have a lot of gaps that we need to continue working on. And I would want to challenge each and every one of you not to just rest because you have your sign up here, but to encourage all of your neighbors to the north to begin working together and finding solutions that work for you, your community, and also help keep Texas moving. I-69 connects major land ports, seaports, international border crossings, and the Texas trunk system. And Governor Perry, as you know, has been a prominent supporter of I-69, was not able to join us today, but he did ask me to relay a message. Back in February at the Capitol, the governor charged us with providing high-quality transportation as it is a necessary component for Texas and its communities to compete for new industries and jobs. He wants you all to know that he recognizes this region made every effort to provide for that high-quality transportation system that he truly appreciates your hard work. I would like to thank the many members of the advisory committee and segment committees for helping make this vision become a reality. I would also like to thank the members of the Alliance for I-69 for their collaboration with TxDOT and also with our federal partners and other entities to help make this really become a significant day. And to all of our partners from all over the Rio Grande Valley, your strong support and action have really played a significant role. I know in the next couple months, we're going to be up in Texarkana with Judge Carlo to unveil some signs up there. So I can truly say this goes from Alpha to Omega. Yes, we want to connect with the rest of the country, and we ultimately will, but Texas first. Thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner Austin. Although unable to be here today, our U.S. Senators have their local representatives here. Ana Garcia and Cassandra Garcia, if you're in the audience, please stand. I see Cassandra. Thank you for being here. Because we have a few minutes available between this, we have a great senator that was here with us. One that we gave everything from a bat to go to bat for us, a belt to buckle it up for us, and all kinds of things in the course of time. As she's been a great supporter of our projects, you know, we're going to have her come up and say a few words before she has to leave. Senator Hutchison.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have to go catch a plane, but I wouldn't have missed this. And Julian came to my office in Dallas and said, please come, because we worked so hard together on this when Julian was my regional director for all of South Texas. So it is a wonderful honor. And, you know, I was in the Senate for 20 years, and so often you work hard, but you don't see the fruits of your labor. It is so wonderful to be here today and be with my great colleagues, my congressional colleagues, my state colleagues, the mayors and the county judges who were such a part of this, and to see this really happen, because we did put the language in that bill, and now all we have to do is connect the places that are ready to be designated and have the signage which we see today. Once that connection is made, and now we have the federal priority to do it, and as well as the leadership of the State Highway Department here, this is going to transform South Texas, I'm sure of it, and the Valley. So I'm very excited to be here, and I will just end by saying that I've never seen a more united effort for Texas than on this project. We did start over 20 years ago working on this with so many in this room, and it was a united effort from the deepest South Texas to Laredo, all the way up through East Texas to Texarkana and beyond. So it is a work that took everyone in this room to do, and I'm very happy to be here and celebrate with you. Thank you very much.
as the goodbyes are being said, it gives me a great privilege to introduce the senior member of the South Texas delegation, the chairman of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and the ranking member on the Higher Education and Workforce Training Subcommittee, Congressman Ruben Hinojosa. Congressman.
Thank you for that kind and generous introduction. It was a pleasure for me to see our Senator Henry Hutchinson, to hear her remarks both on TV, English, and Spanish, and now here for this, all the attendees. I will say, Mr. Sweeney, that I came 3 years after she got to Washington. I got to Washington in 1997, and I wanted to try to make a mark. It was my freshman year, and I saw that the colleges and universities of this area were members of what was known as HSIs, Hispanic Serving Institutions. And being on the Committee on Higher Education, I wanted to see what kind of funding they were getting. And I saw that it was $10 million a year for approximately 100 members of the Association of HSI. And I thought it was a topographical error. So I asked my chief of staff to check it out. He said, no, there's no mistake. I said, well, why do the HBCUs, which are historically black colleges, get 140 million? He said, well, we just haven't had the number of members that can make those things happen. We were 12 that year, 12 members of Latinos serving in Congress, and they were about 30. I said, well, we're going to have to try to close the gap, see if we can increase that investment. So I went to Kay Bailey Hutchison, and I said that I wanted to see if we could leapfrog the 28 million. And she says, well, that'll be a little difficult to do because I don't think we have the support to get it done. And without going into the details, I introduced legislation that would do that. And called going to visit some of the senators, the Appropriations Committee, and when I used the term HSI, one of the chairman of the committee, Appropriations Committee in the Senate, turned to his chief of staff and says, I'm sorry, excuse me, but what is the acronym HSI? So they didn't know about HSIs, they didn't know about so many Latinos going to these universities, but that funding was a promise. So I'm pleased to tell you that we jumped forward, and 17 years later, Kay Bailey always supported me as the chairman of the Education Task Force for the CHC, which I am now the chairman. And that very first term, we jumped from 10 million to 28 million. And gradually, we increased that. But the results have been, she always says it in her speeches in Washington, we are now, HSIs are getting $221 million as of 2010, 2011, and 2012. And that has increased the number of Latinos and Latinas going to colleges and universities by 28%, according to the Pew Trust. And that is a big, big accomplishment. That is a result. That is the result that we are now merging the University of Texas Brownsville and the University of Texas Edinburgh into one 30,000 student body. And that's why our South Texas college system has 33,000. And all the colleges and universities in the region have just skyrocketed in attendance. That leads us to tomorrow's signing of a bill that not only merges these two colleges in Brownsville and Edinburgh, but will also give us a medical school. And somebody asked me, how is it that we were able to get it accomplished? Well, there was a coalition that Kay Bailey mentioned to local, county, state and federal leaders working together to make Deep South Texas a region where quality of life will improve tremendously. Unemployment is going to be at 6%, our country will be in 2015. Comprehensive immigration reform is very likely to pass before the end of this year. Think of what this area will look like. If we were 1.5 million this last census, we will be at 2 million within 5 years. And then we'll jump to 3 million the next 5 years. And there's no reason why we can't do it with the infrastructure of I-69. And we're celebrating the Unveiled signage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a real honor to stand here before you and to say that I am part of that team that didn't know it couldn't be done when I got there. And lots of my friends, and I would say, they say, where are you from, freshman? I'm from South Texas. Oh, you're part of the San Antonio bunch. I said, no, 250 miles south of San Antonio. I said, well, we didn't know that was part of the United States. It's funny. So then I added the word, I'm from Deep South Texas. And I used that in all of my speeches and many of my remarks and many of my requests for funding. So ladies and gentlemen, I have a great speech that my staff wrote. They told me to make the remarks as short as possible. And I want to commend those sitting here on the stage because they certainly have a big role that they played. And those who were recognized earlier by the MC, thank you for all of the work that you all have done. Thank you.
Thank you, President Rosa. Next, we have our Congressman Henry Cuellar. As Secretary of State in the great state of Texas, he advocated and promoted border region vigorously. And today, as a member of Congress, he is doing the same on the influential House Appropriations Committee. It oversees funding for every U.S. agency. So we need to welcome this guy in a big way. Congressman?
Thank you again, and again, thank you very much for everybody. This has been truly a team effort from the local level, judge and the county commissioners, and all of the mayors that have worked so hard, to the state level, to my good friend, my former roommate, Eddie Lucio, and the other senators and the other state reps. I want to say reps, I also want to say thank you for all the good work that you have been doing. To the Department of Transportation, certainly Phil and Jeff and everybody, the governor, thank you so much, because I've always said that one of the hardest, and I used to say one of the hardest because my wife used to work at the Comptroller's office, but one of the hardest working state agencies is the Department of Transportation, because they got to meet those deadlines. There's a lot of pressure that goes to them, and I think we ought to give them a big hand for the good work that they've done. Well, she's not there anymore, so I'll say the hardest working state agency now. Let me say also at the federal level, from my good friend Ruben Hinojosa, for the work that he's done. Phil Vela, I know we're going to get a letter from Phil's office in a few minutes. To Blake Fairhood, who's now in the Department of Transportation. To Solomon Ortiz, that was there also. And of course to our two senators, Senator Cornyn and Senator Cruz, thank you so much for all the work. And especially Kate Bailey, because she really played a very important role to make sure that we got this very important project started. What, how, and why? What we know here, because we're here to announce that we are ready to go ahead and start the work, continue the work that started many years, to do I-69, to connect it up to the northern part of Texas and beyond that. How are we doing this? Well, we're having a press conference. We're all having different things. You know, this is all the easy work. But I think the hardest thing that we need to do is to explain the why. The public wants to know, why are we doing this? And it's very simple. I think the why is simply, we want to make sure that we want to improve our economy. Anytime you build roads, the economic development comes here, the entrepreneurship comes about, the money spent on construction, engineer, and other work. So the why is important to the economics. It's important also to not only tourism also. You know, South Texas is so important to tourism, the money that's spent here, both people coming north and south, and of course to retail. The Mexicanos that come over here and spend millions and millions of dollars over here and go beyond the valley also to other parts of the state of Texas. It is important to understand that the economics, the tourism, and the retail is important. And tied into that, it's one simple thing, quality of life. Because when you can move people and goods faster, the better it is for the quality of life, and that's why we're doing this. On July 6th of this last year, MAP was signed in 21, was signed into law that sent about $3 billion in road improvements for the next 2 years to the state of Texas. We're partners with the state of Texas to make sure that those billions of dollars come over here. There were a couple of things that happened in that legislation. And if I had it my way, and Ruben and some of us, we would have not done it 2 years, we would have done it 5 years. I don't like this short-term bills, but there's a different environment up there in Washington, but we still got 2 years. We're happy with 2 years. Hopefully the next highway bill that we're working with Chairman Bill Schuster, we want a 5-year bill instead of a 2-year bill. But what he did is not only send billions of dollars to the state of Texas, but it took a little requirement that said that completed highway segments must be connected to an existing interstate highway before they can be added to the interstate highway system. This very small change that Kay Bailey Hutchison did was so important to South Texas because it's bringing over 100 miles of existing roads to the federal interstate system that we have also. And we got to make sure that this goes on all the way to the northern part of the state of Texas, East Texas, and beyond that, to make sure that we connect. It's not only one dot here in South Texas, not only the northern dot up there in North Texas, but we got to make sure that we connect it all the way through and beyond that to make sure that Texas stays as the powerhouse for the country. There's a reason why the state of Texas creates about 1/3 of all the jobs in the United States is because we understand business, we work with business, and we want to make sure that the roads are there to make sure that we take care of our business and anybody that wants to work here in the state of Texas. So the MAP 21 was supported by everybody. It was not a Republican issue, it was not a Democratic issue, it was supported by every single member of the Texas delegation, both Democrats and Republicans. And what does it mean to the freight and international trade? As you know, Texas is the #1 exporting state in the whole country. You also know that every day there's about $1.2 billion of trade between the U.S. and Mexico. Every day, $1.2 billion of trade. Last year there was over $500 billion of trade between the U.S. and Mexico. And we down here, and as Ruben said a few minutes ago, as we talk about immigration, we down here at the border, we understand that Mexico is not an enemy, but it's a friend of us that we should work with to make sure that we connect between the United States and Mexico. And like I've always said, we don't want fences, we want to see bridges, and we want to see roads and highways, and that's what we need to do in the state of Texas, and that's what we're going to continue. But why is I-69 so important? Because the busiest freight routes in the nation are down here in this area. Let me give you some numbers, and I think Jeff knows his numbers very well. Last year in Hidalgo, there were over 480,000 truck crossings. Brownsville had 218,000. Progreso had nearly 45,000. Rio Grande had 29,000. Roma had over 7,000. And if you add my hometown of Laredo, you add an additional 1.8 million trucks of crossing in that particular port. So when you add all of Laredo down to Brownsville, you're talking about over 2.5 million trucks that cross South Texas communities that will be served by one I-69, and that doesn't count the non-commercial vehicle. This is just commercial vehicle, and that means big business, but we got to take care of that business, and this is why I-69 is so important. And I say just one thing. This is only just the beginning. We still got a lot more work. We got appropriation bills we got to work on. We got the next highway bill that we got to take care of. And again, I ask the community to continue doing this together because this is not a Democratic or a Republican issue. This is something good for the state of Texas. This is good for America. This is also good for Mexico because if we do well, they do well. And working together, we understand that the border culture, the culture down here is a very dynamic one. And we understand this better than anybody else. And this is what we're here. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you so much.
That's a stump speech if I ever heard one. Yeah, that is great, you know. I was reminded that that's why you're congressmen and we're just county commissioners. Not by you, not by you, not by you, definitely, no. Not anybody in the stage. Next, I'm going to invite Humberto Garza with Congressman Filemon Vela. Congressman Vela has only been in office for 7 months, but it seems he's been there a whole lot longer. We've taken a lot of trips together, down from Corpus into the valley, down every road I think that exists in the area. He's gotten to know the I-69 routes very well. He understands the priorities and the needs that we have. He understands what Congressman Cuellar was talking about, and he is a great supporter for us in D.C. So, Humberto, I welcome you to say a few words on behalf of the Congress.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, that is great, you know. I was reminded that that's why you're congressmen and we're just county commissioners. Not by you, not by you, not by you, definitely, no. Not anybody in the stage. Next, I'm going to invite Humberto Garza with Congressman Filemon Vela. Congressman Vela has only been in office for 7 months, but it seems he's been there a whole lot longer. We've taken a lot of trips together, down from Corpus into the valley, down every road I think that exists in the area. He's gotten to know the I-69 routes very well. He understands the priorities and the needs that we have. He understands what Congressman Cuellar was talking about, and he is a great supporter for us in D.C. So, Humberto, I welcome you to say a few words on behalf of the Congress.
Thank you, Commissioner. The letter from Congressman Vela can seem meek compared with that speech, Congressman. But here goes. It's truly an honor to be here today. It is definitely a good day for South Texas, good day for the Valley, good day for this nation. It is an honor to be amongst the folks here in this conference hall, folks up here that have made that possible. My name is Humberto Garza. I am the District Director for Congressman Filemon Vela, Congressional District 34. Congressman Vela couldn't be here today, but he sent a few notes. President Eisenhower, in his 1955 State of the Union address, explained the importance of an interstate system for our country. A modern, efficient highway system is essential to meet the needs of our growing population, our expanding economy, and our national security. We're accelerating our highway improvement program as rapidly as possible under the 16 state and federal laws and authorizations. President Eisenhower believes that good roads were important to our nation's economy and national security were formed when he participated as a lieutenant colonel in the Army's transcontinental motor convoy, a mission designed to test the mobility of the military across our nation's roads in 1919. The cross-country journey began in Washington, D.C. and ended in San Francisco. Because of the poor road conditions, the trip lasted 62 days, and the convoy only averaged 6 miles an hour or 58 miles a day. What was true in President Eisenhower's time is true today. Good roads allow people and goods efficiently travel across the country. For the first time, cities in the Rio Grande Valley are linked by an interstate highway, which allows valley motorists to travel safely and promote trade across our region. Recently, Federal Highway Administrator Victor Mendes and I toured the Rio Grande Valley and drove along the I-69 corridor while discussing critical infrastructure projects for South Texas. Both he and I agreed the I-69 was long overdue. We are very appreciative of the hard work by TxDOT and the Federal Highway Administration. Gracias. The establishment of an interstate highway not only allows motorists to travel more safely, but also makes our region more attractive to businesses who are looking to relocate. Often, when businesses are considering expanding to a region, the first question they ask local officials is, where is the nearest interstate? Today's unveiling of I-69 and I-2 is a culmination of decades of work by local, state, and federal officials. As more and more segments of I-69 are completed, the Rio Grande Valley strategic location will become even more important to the nation and vital to South Texas. A warm embrace and a congratulatory note from Congressman Vela. Congratulations. God bless Texas.
Thank you. Before we continue, I want to just take about a minute and a half to make a couple of comments. And I know they've been recognized already by Judge Thompson, but I would like to recognize again some folks that are here, or some families that are here, representing some folks that are not here physically, but are here in spirit with us. And that is the Bill Summers family, the Ortho Brandt family, the Bill Carr family, and the Mike Allen families. You know, I had the pleasure of knowing these guys, and they said, we won't do it in my lifetime, make sure it's in yours. That's what they kept telling me. So we got to see that. We also have another individual that is here with us today, and he was one of those original folks that had the meetings, that put people together in contact with each other and started this concept, and that is David Alex. David, would you please stand? I know it's hard. Thank you so much for everything you've done. David Alex is still, you know, moving and shaking transportation and infrastructure for us on a daily basis, and we want to thank you publicly.
Thank you, Commissioner, and he is my commissioner where I live also, county commissioner. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to join these distinguished gentlemen on the podium, distinguished guests, speakers, and I'm so happy that the four giants that I consider giants in this valley were remembered here today, and were represented here by their families. I'm sitting there just reminiscing all that has happened over the last 26 and a half years. Congressman Quinn and I were roommates. He has the same level of energy now that he did then. The rest of us have become grandparents. I don't know how he does it, but I'm just very pleased to have us be at this point in our lives. You know, it's so important for us to acknowledge who we are and where we're situated in this state. It's important for us to say that we are important in the most humblest of ways. We're very important to the rest of the state. We're very important to our neighbors to the south. The infrastructure that will be unfolding and developing in this area of our state will connect us directly to so many points in between here and Michigan, between here and Mexico and further on down the continent in South America. And the quality of life, as I mentioned in the press conference, is one that I always look at, particularly in an issue like this. This is an issue, this is something that we've been waiting for so long to improve our communications, to be able to take advantage of the development that has to take place economically in our part of the state that will establish the necessary jobs, bring in businesses that will attract people from other parts of the state and country to come here. And of course, in terms of immigration, our congressman both articulated that issue very well a little while ago in the press conference and also on this stage. I think everyone that has had a hand in our success in this particular issue has been acknowledged. I won't repeat the wonderful people that I have had the privilege to know and work with that are in attendance today that have made a difference in people's lives. And that's all that's important. Tomorrow's generation are sitting at home right now, or my grandchildren are out running around. But those are the little boys and girls, soon to become men and women, that will take the reins of leadership. And they'll look back at what has transpired before them, in many cases in their very eyes, because we take them where we go. And they're going to be so thankful that their moms, their dads, their uncles, or their aunts, their grandpas, grandmas took part whether we were a member of the Chamber of Commerce, sat on the city commission, county commission, or school board, but we all came together as one family, a Texas family, an American family, making dreams come true. And that's what today represents to me. Thank you so much. God bless you.
I'll start. My name is Ramiro Garza, and I'm city manager for the city of Edinburgh. But in sitting in the committee, there's no city logo that we wear there. And I want to thank TxDOT for setting up that committee and having a lot of community leaders throughout the state serving that committee. I just wanted to say one message to closing remarks, just wrap things up by looking forward to the continued growth of this region. The development and improvement of this area, as well as the state of Texas, can only be possible if the leadership continues and the citizens of every city and county here continue to work together. The importance of working together has been evident not just during the process for the unveiling of this I-69, but also another pivotal moment that is going to be experienced tomorrow at both universities in Brownsville and Edinburgh, at the combination of both universities. The advantages of these interstate segments in the valley will be widespread, enough that the entire region can enjoy these benefits. And the message I want to leave here today is I see representatives from nearly every city and county in the valley, as well as throughout the region. I think I saw Brooks County Judge Garcia as well. It's my hope that all of us will continue to reach out to each other, extend a helping hand, and share ideas. When we do so, the possibilities are boundless, and it is perfectly illustrated today. On behalf of all today's speakers and the organizers of this fantastic event, I want to thank the Rio Grande Valley Partnership, Julian Alvarez, who was asked by TxDOT, Julian, can you help us organize this? And they've done a great job. Why don't we give them a hand? Thank all of you for attending, and I want to use Judge Thompson as a quote that he said earlier. Isn't it amazing what can happen when we work together? Thank you.